Hey, what's good, everybody? You know who it is. You know what it is. It's another live session with your Dr. Jerry Doby. And today, I'm really excited about this conversation. I have Leah Collins. She is the host of the new Winfrey Network show called Maxed Out. Now, we always talk about our people, melanated people, not having these types of conversations at the dinner table, financial literacy, generational wealth, et cetera, which is what this show uh, kind of is kind of about. I'm like, welcome, Leah. We got to know more. We got to know more about these conversations.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Appreciate you. So, um, we have a short time, but I really would like to know what inspired you to become a financial expert, and what's your personal mission?
Um, well, what inspired me to become a financial coach is back in 2017, 2018, I had my own, sorry, I don't know if you can hear that.
You're good. Don't worry. It'll edit
Okay.
out.
Okay. So back in 2017, 2018, I had a major wake up call. I had earned more money than I had ever before. But when I was doing my taxes that year, when sat down, I realized that I had really nothing to show for all of that money and all of that hard work. So I really locked down on my finances. And within 18 months, I paid off $40,000 worth of debt, purchased
Hmm.
investment property, and increased my credit score to over 800. And then at that point, of course, people saw that transformation and they asked for help. And that's really how my business was born. But the real heart of my passion came shortly after through really two life altering events. I was engaged to my long term boyfriend, but we ended up calling it off about a month before the wedding for several reasons, but largely due to a lack of communication around finances and just financial incompatibility. And looking back, I realized that I just really didn't have those tools to navigate those uncomfortable money conversations. We went through premarital counseling, but they just kind of brushed over it. I think we maybe have talked about it for 30 minutes. And
Hmm.
had I had that information, sooner, maybe I could have saved the relationship or walked away sooner. Um, the second event was the birth of my daughter, my beautiful daughter. She
Yeah.
really reinforced my belief that financial freedom isn't just about the here and now, right? It's about legacy. And that's why I'm really passionate and kind of obsessed with estate planning. We talk about that a lot on the show. People think it's just for the wealthy, but it's actually a love letter to your family. It's a legal plan, wills and trusts that ensures that your assets and your children are protected no matter what happens. So shortly after my daughter was born, I created one for her, and today I'm teaching her those same life lessons that I wish I had known. Like my 4-year-old, she knows more about money management than most adults.
Mhm.
So really just to answer your question, I do this work because I want to give families the tools that I didn't have. I want to help bridge that gap between their bank accounts and their hearts so that they can build a legacy that lasts for generations, because Black people especially cannot afford to start over with every single generation.
You know what? And it's easier to move forward if you don't have bitter beer face at the end of every month
Yes.
because you can't even afford to rob Peter to pay
Right.
Paul. You know,
Exactly.
and like I said, these are not normal everyday conversations for the average person, but it's specifically, in the community, the Black community, where we spend 9 out of $10 earned within the first 30 to 45 minutes, because usually you're paying bills as soon as that hits or whatever, recovering from some sort of liability.
Right.
Talk to me about the concept of maxed out and why financial intervention matters. Now, we already know it's expensive at the grocery store. People don't understand the processes of finance and the
Mhm.
consequences of, you know, the trickle down, the trickle down consequences of the economic environment that we're living in. So talk to me about, the concept.
About the show. Okay. Well, Maxed Out is really a financial intervention series that looks at the intersection of our bank accounts and relationships. And at the heart of the show is the dynamic between the nominator and the nominee. So in each episode, there's someone that's a nominator, whether it's a spouse, a parent, a business partner, and they're nominating a loved one because they're directly impacted by that person's financial management or lack of management, right? So the story mostly focuses on the nominee, but we also address that the denominator, the silent sufferer, right? The person who's losing their peace and their stability or their future because of financial decisions that they didn't make, but they still have to live with. So the show really focuses on me helping mend relationships, not only with money, but also with each other. And what truly sets Maxed Out apart is that we don't stay at a 30,000 feet level, right? With vague advice like save more, spend less. We really go deep into the numbers. In each episode, we break down the debt, the income, expenses, credit scores. We're talking about interest rates, debt to income ratios, net worth. I'm looking at their bank statements, credit card reports. And as I mentioned, or credit reports, sorry. And as I mentioned before, we talk a lot about legacy planning, estate planning as it pertains not only to building wealth, but protecting it and passing it down to, other generations. There's nothing like this on TV. That's nothing like it. And the best thing of it, the best of all is that it's geared towards us, right? It's geared towards our community. The stories are incredibly relatable. We follow a married couple, a mother and daughter, two sisters running a business together. Where whether you're an entrepreneur, a stay-at-home mom, someone working a 9 to 5, you'll see yourself on this cast. So it's a really inspirational show. I was telling someone earlier that everyone on the production crew during filming paid off at least one debt. That's how impactful that this show has been already. So ultimately, it's a show about freedom. I provide clear strategies, tough love to help people get their finances back on track. But the goal is really bigger than money. It's about reclaiming that peace of mind, repairing relationships, protecting futures, and really just giving people the permission to dream again. I'm not just giving budgets, I really give breakthroughs.
I love how you're addressing the psychology of being in the broke fraternity and trying to maintain a relationship, and addressing that on the show because it really is, first you have to admit you belong to broke. And
Right.
you have to determine the methodology to get out. And I love that you're giving definitive tips. Speaking of practical tips, could you give me a quick 3 practical tips, maybe that viewers can use today to improve their finances?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I always start by telling people that real financial change doesn't start with perfection. It starts with small wins, right? And clarity. So the first thing that I always tell people to do is identify your values. And this is something that I talk about a lot on the show. So for me, my main, most important value is spending time with my daughter. So everyone's values will be different, but your money should really support what matters most to you. So when you're clear on your values, your financial decisions have purpose and become a lot clearer. So anything that's going to take away from me spending time with my daughter, most likely my money and time is not going to go towards it. The second thing is really create short-term and long-term goals. So that might be building a small savings cushion or paying off a credit card. Long-term goals could be buying a home, growing a business. Third, track your spending and check for alignment. So track your spending for about 30 days and ask the honest question, does the spending align with my values and my goals?
Mm.
And if it doesn't, that's where we start making cuts. Um, and so it's really about seeing where you're in alignment, where you're not. Always start small. I'm really big on small wins. So how I started my journey, the first thing that I did was paid off my lowest credit card balance, which is like $200. But that small win gave me momentum to keep going. So then I did the next smallest, and I kept going until I had paid off $40,000 worth of
Mm.
debt. So when people really focus on their goals and why they're doing this, they stop feeling overwhelmed and start feeling empowered. And that's how financial health really becomes sustainable.
So would you say that, you know, understanding the cultural impact of financial literacy, especially within the Black community, as we're experiencing and witnessing the ebb and flow of economic structures under different administrations in different parts of the world, et cetera, understanding the processes of financing and what, the value of money as a tool and a resource, would you say that that's, this show is going to have a real cultural impact in
Yeah. Mhm.
financial awareness and literacy? Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it will have a huge impact because right now, as you mentioned, like we're just kind of living in a crisis, right? We're a nation that's over leveraged, underconnected. And this show matters because it proves that financial health is really the foundation of mental and relationship relational health, right? You can't sleep at night, if you know you can't pay your bills, or if you're struggling and you have all this debt, it's going to impact your relationships, your mental health, every aspect of your life. Money literally touches every aspect of your life. So this show really destigmatizes the struggle. So it really helps people open up those conversations, right?
Hmm.
It really helps us, it saves relationships. So I know firsthand what happens when communication breaks down over money. Like I said before, I walked away from an engagement because of it. So ultimately, it's giving people permission to really dream again. And it's also something that we just never learned in school, right? That's one of the reasons, too, is so necessary, because we're expected to master a system we were never taught. We don't learn this stuff anywhere. So we basically learn about money through trauma, mistakes, and silence. So this show really teaches, Maxed Out acts as the classroom that we all missed. So I'm really going into these homes to provide financial literacy, and that should have been a requirement from day one, from graduation. Yeah, so to
Okay.
your point, yeah, it really matters. And
Hey,
this show really opens up, it helps people have those conversations, opens up communication for people to have those conversations, those uncomfortable conversations.
we have the conversations on the sidelines, but the problem of actually learning the lessons is being addressed right on
Hmm.
own. Leah Collins is the host of Maxed Out. The debut airing is Saturday, January the 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on OWN. Those things that we don't normally talk about. We're going to get walked through an entire season um, of people learning how to navigate the financial world from someone who did it. This is real world education being laid on folks who really need to make a change and desire to make a change. So let's all tune in, support Leah. It's generational. It's more than what's happening today. We need to know how to navigate and have methodologies and good processes and decision making skills moving forward into the future and pass it on to the kids. Leah, anything else you wanted to cover that I may have missed?
No, I think you covered it all. I really think everyone will enjoy this show. Like I mentioned before, I want viewers to finish the episode and feel empowered to have those uncomfortable conversations around their own kitchen table. I want these to be, just normal conversations that we have. And this is a show that I'm very proud of. And I believe that everyone will be able to see themselves in the cast and walk away with valuable information.
Leah Collins, Maxed Out. Oprah Winfrey Network, Saturday, January 10th, 2026. Let's start the new year off right. Let this young lioness lead us down the path to financial success. Till next time, Hype Life Sessions.
News from hip hop to Hollywood.
As an artist, we should reflect the time.
Why you so talented?
Cause I'm black.
Why you so amazing?
Cause I'm black.
Really important that we build characters so that people understand their story matters.
2 Chainz and I both are just really into good food.
And when you know you are royalty, you will only aim in life to be royalty.
We're doing it right now. I don't give a damn what they say about me. Yes, I called your ass out. I know I shouldn't be saying this kind of.
Shout out the Hype Magazine Network.
Shout out to the Hype Magazine Network.